by the Executive Director of Music New Brunswick now, Jean Surette. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here.
And we're going to have a lot of fun, I think. It's going to be a good one. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun coming up next week as well with ECMAs coming in St. John, which must be an absolute thrill.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of these events sort of become a kind of a family meeting of industry folks, because there are a lot of industry events, but we don't see each other all that often. So especially for the Atlantic Canadian music industry, so it's kind of a time that everyone sees each other and kind of catches up.
Yeah, from the other job that I do in radio, I know full well about the networking that goes on. Everybody kind of has to meet each other every few months and just make sure everybody's on the same page. And if they're not, well, get updated on everything. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and what's cool about ECMA and their focus and what they're really good at is the export program, because they bring in delegates from all over Europe and the States and the rest of Canada. And these people are booking agents and labels or festival organizers, and they come and see artists. That's the reason they're coming. And this year it's in St. John in New Brunswick. Comes back to New Brunswick every 5 years. 5 years ago it was in Moncton, actually. So these people, Atlantic Canada is known for, it's really a really fertile ground for talent. It's a small demographic, small population, but huge talent. And it's known all over the world, actually, and people that come to ECMA and other events in Atlantic Canada pick up on that right away.
Yeah, it's definitely, we get a lot of people who look in to say, hey, a lot of these local people, they've got a ton of talent. You see it out in concerts out during the summer, out in the winter. You just walk around anywhere, you can hear all the talent through even just the Greater Moncton area.
Yeah, Moncton has definitely a good, I think every city has its scene. Fredericton has its thing going, and St. John, and it's nice that Moncton was able to be highlighted 5 years ago at ECMA, and so it's St. John's turn this year. And we have a good roster of, when I say we, say our province, I mean, we're not organizing these events in ECMA, but we're there to help our artists promote their showcasing, because a lot of these artists have been around the block a couple of times, so they're playing on stages that are really specific to export, so they know, because doing a showcase, if you don't know what a showcase is, it's 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes it's like a job interview. Yeah. So it's not like a show where you're playing for your fans, although that can be the case too. In the case of some St. John artists, I'm sure they'll have some people in the audience that know them. But most of the time, these showcases are very industry driven, and you have 20 minutes, sometimes 30, and you have to show your best stuff, and you have to, you really put the best foot forward, and hopefully that's part of the work. But there's all the other work. You mentioned the networking, but also meeting people and organizing. Doing your homework before the event. There's a list of delegates that are posted on their website. So the artists or their managers would have to go on the website and look at, okay, who are the festivals that are coming, and who are the booking agents, and kind of out of 80 that are there may be only 12 that actually are interesting for their genre. If you're doing a specific kind of music, while if you're doing folk, there's probably a lot of delegates that are looking for folk. So there's a little bit of homework, but when you're there, it's like full steam ahead, and it's a good time.
You just pump your way through it.
Yeah, it's work though. It's definitely work
all week through. But in taking out next week's amazing festival that's going to be going on in St. John, the ECMAs, in terms of a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month for Music New Brunswick, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, it changes with every season. I'd say the busy times for us is right now. I'd say February through end of May, beginning of June. We're planning ahead, because we have an annual event that this year is in Moncton. It's called Festival 506, and that's kind of our mini ECMA. It's a provincial conference, but we have showcases and shows, and so we'll have about 30 to 35 artists that'll be programmed. We'll have workshops and all that kind of stuff. And so we're planning that right now. But at the same time, as a nonprofit, you have to do your financial stuff and wrap that up in a board of directors meetings. And we have an AGM, which is where our members can come and let us know, hey, these are the ideas we'd like you guys to be working on. We have collaborations with other organizations, and we try to put on workshops and information sessions on a regular basis, as many places around New Brunswick as possible, because we're a provincial organization. So getting to all corners of the province isn't possible every year, but we try to, we try to say, okay, last year we went, let's say, in the Northeast. Well, this time let's go to the Northwest. And so this May we're going to St. Andrews to give some sessions and to do a project there. And then the summer tapers off because, well, July and August, it's really hard to get anything going because it's summer and people aren't in that headspace. So we keep at it and just keep organizing our event. And then our event is in October. So right up until late October, we're full out. And November, there are still a lot of industry events that we also participate in. So you know, there's some crazy time in the fall and in the spring, and then in the valleys near Christmas and the summer. But we're always very, very active on social media, and we're always connecting with our members. We have almost 500 members if you include all the band members of each band and all that. So we're always connecting with them and trying to get information to them on opportunities and adding things to our website. And so we're active in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's in the back of the scenes, but we have a lot of projects going on, and we're only 2 at the office, so we keep busy.
That's for sure. When you talk just 2, you know, and it's a lot of it is coordinating with a whole bunch of different artists and different genres and different everything, trying to funnel them into the different projects and what you have going on, and you're really there to help the artists and make sure that they get seen the best in terms of whoever's watching.
Definitely, we're there for the artists, but also for the industry, because for like any industry, you need different chains of different links in the chain, right? And the artist and the creator is a super important, like probably the most important. But if you don't have other parts of that chain, like the managers or the labels, or even record stores at one point had a different role. They're instead of selling CDs, now vinyl's coming back, and so there are sales there, but most of it is online. So it's making understanding, getting artists to understand what opportunities in streaming now exists and publishing, because there's not a lot. The challenge is that our industry is not very developed. We have a lot of artists, like a lot of really, really good artists, but they're mostly self-managed, and they're looking for managers or agents. And most artists think they need a manager, but I would say that most artists don't need managers. They would need a publicist, or maybe an agent, or someone that can help them with if they have some applications to send in for funding, or even applications for showcasing or festivals, and kind of that admin work, helping them with their bio. And so manager, yes, it's a kind of an all-encompassing term where then a manager takes care of an artist's career. But some artists know where they want to go or what they want to do, but they need help on the admin side. So we're trying to develop that part. So yes, we're there for the artist, 100%. And then we're also there to help develop skills so that we can have more people doing jobs like more on the industry side.
So, Jean, just before we head out, we have a bit of a rising recruit that we want you to see. A little bit of a clip here. We're going to show it to you on the monitor.
Okay.
And just have a look here. Let's have a little look and see what we've got here coming up. Just what do you think of those guys?
They have no future in music. They'll never get anywhere. This was here. This was at the.
This was here, yeah. This was here. This was here in 1995.
That's right. That's for a TV show that we did the soundtrack for. That's Denis, who's in Les Païens. These are the 3 original Les Païens members.
Yep.
This was for a show called something about La Lune. I forget the name of it. But we did a soundtrack to a TV show that was produced here in Moncton called Je sais pas.
Je sais pas.
Yeah, Je sais pas. And what we're playing here is the theme music, and that's wow, blast from the past.
They got no future, nothing, no future, not at all. Yeah. Well, in the clip right there.
Yeah. No, that's it's about 24 years ago, I think.
24, yeah. Well, we said 1995, March 10th, 1995.
Oh, wow.
So 22 years ago, I think. It's 22 years in a month. That's. So no hope for those recruits there.
No.
From the quote, the executive director of Music New Brunswick. certainly not the scathing reviews that we'll hear from New Brunswick artists for sure. Certainly, you guys are putting out some great effort towards pushing New Brunswick music ahead, and people need to hear these people.
Yeah, well, we back then all we wanted to do was cool music, and we were doing soundtracks for music for soundtracking and stuff. So we were doing all sorts of music, and that kind of stayed with us. And we still do all sorts of things, and we're definitely pushing the envelope most of the time.
Yeah. So anybody who's interested in terms of meeting up with Music New Brunswick or getting more information, where can they find you guys? Follow
us on social media. We're very active on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. We have a great website, musicnb.org, which we're publishing things there all the time from our members, from us, from the industry, all sorts of things. We have a really cool blog there that's easy to follow. And we're happy to help. Just give us a call, send us an email. All our information's on the website.
Yes, be sure to check it out. Jean Sirette, thank you so much for joining us from Music New Brunswick.